Hey guys, I'm back with another meta discussion. More of a lightly edited rant type of video than my other stuff. Last time I did this, I talked about Dugtrio, and similarly, I want to talk today about Dracovish and if a possible ban for it would be a good idea, focusing more on the health of the meta than anything else. Now, quick recap on Dracovish for those new to the Pokemon. Introduced to Pokemon in Sword and Shield, it first got attention, well, beyond its cursed appearance, for its access to the move Vicious Rend, which had a staggering 170 base power if your Pokemon attacked before your opponents did. And it had the ability Strong Jaw, which increased the power of Bite-type moves, including Vicious Rend, by 50%. So this is an amazing combination if you manage to attack before your opponent. And Dracovish's speed wasn't great, but it was definitely enough to make it work. And if you combo that with a Choice Scarf, which would make it faster than any unboosted Mon, with the exception of Dragapult and Zeraora, or alternatively a Choice Band, which would just absolutely nuke any swap in or any slower Pokemon, it just became a very, very fearsome Mon very quickly. It's just a Mon that's almost impossible to swap into safely. Throw in synergy with Rain teams and a decent alternative move pool in Psychic Fangs and Crunch, also boosted by Strong Jaws, and Outrage, of course, nothing to sneeze at. And it's no surprise that this thing quickly became incredibly saturated in the meta and has been, I think, top 10 usage ever since. Which leads me to the crux of my argument. Is this thing overpowered? Well, no. I think anyone who plays much nowadays would come to a similar conclusion as me. It's extremely powerful, but there's just some very notable checks and balances to it. Scarf Dracovish is the most common variant nowadays. So if you've got a max defense Ferrothorn or a Toxapex, you can probably eat it pretty comfortably. Or even more common as a check to it is anything with Water Absorb, especially Seismitoad. It can eat up anything that you shake at it, and even if you switch out moves, knowing that it's going to come in for the Water Absorb on the Vicious Rend, it can still eat up the Crunches and Psychic Fangs pretty easy. And also, crucially, it's outsped, as I mentioned, by Dragapult and Zeraora, so even if it does manage to get a kill, something else can come in and revenge kill it, or at the very least threaten it out. But whether it's overpowered or not isn't really my point. I agree that it's not overpowered if you got the right checks and balances to it. But that's kind of the rub of it, isn't it? The right checks and balances. I said in my last video that the problem with Dugtrio wasn't how good it was, but the fact that it was hitting 17th in the usage stats. And it was such a common Mon, or at least common enough, that you had to be prepared for it when you were building a team. And this quickly forced Ghost-type Pokemon, Flying-type Pokemon, Levitate, bulky tanks to rise up in the usage rankings, because if you're building a team, you don't want something that's going to get quickly foddered off by a simple Dugtrio. You don't want to just instantly lose a team preview. It just has this sort of insidious effect on the meta. So sure, I'd love to use my cool offensive Toxtricity team on the ladder, but why would I bother if there's such a high chance I'm just going to run into a Dugtrio and boom, I'm just instantly in a huge pit? Well, now I ask you, how is that much different from Dracovish? This thing sees even more usage than Dugtrio, and similarly to that, it forces you to always include something with Water Absorb or Toxapex. It's not trapping you like Dugtrio was, so just having a check or counter to it is much more intuitive, but the fact that it's so impossible to swap into almost means it doesn't matter. Even something water immune, like Water Absorb Heliolisk, won't work as a check to this thing because it can easily be predicted and 2-hit KO'd with Psychic Fangs. So it just keeps forcing you over and over and over again to use the same 3 Pokemon to check it. Seismitoad, Ferrothorn, and Toxapex. And even then you almost always have to do a max defense variant of those. So it's not even like there's very much creativity within those 3 Pokemon. It's just the exact same builds over and over and over. I honestly think that the combination of Dracovish and Dugtrio are a huge reason why we see so much stagnancy with our defensive cores this generation. Sure, Clefable and Corviknight are incredible and they're always going to be ubiquitous at this point, but most of Seismitoad and Pex's ubiquity can be chalked up to how annoying a Dracovish is without a proper, extremely easy check for it. To sort of drive my point home here, let's do a little bit of a thought experiment. If the ability Water Absorb just snap did not exist, how good do you think Dracovish would be? Personally, I think he'd be easily too strong for overused. Getting it in would mean a free kill unless your Pex and Ferrothorn was healthy, and it would be the best wall breaker and sweeper for free. I mean, hell, Water Absorb does exist, and it is in every game, and Dracovish is already one of the best wall breakers and sweepers. It's just that good with it in the meta. So yes, to reiterate, I really don't think it's too strong or overpowered in the meta, quite the opposite. I just don't like that it forces so many teams to shoehorn these same few Pokemon into your teams to deal with it. It feels like it constricts the meta and limits your ability to team build creatively, which, as I said with Dugtrio, is the most fun aspect of competitive Pokemon. Anyways, I hope you guys will give this topic some thought. I realize that asking for a ban seems so extreme, and to be honest, I'm not even sure that's what I'm arguing for myself. I just want to get a bit of a conversational snowball rolling here. I just think no one's talking about how similar it is to Dugtrio and its insidious effect on the meta. and I'm not sure if anyone's really thinking about it. So again, I'm not arguing for a ban. I just think that it's unhealthy for the meta. I mean, maybe if we remove it, then all these same walls that I'm mentioning earlier will become even stronger without a huge wall breaker to break it. So maybe that's part of it, and maybe I am overestimating how big and central the tox effects and size method element of it is. But again, their usage stats are both like top 5 or top 10 at this point, so that's my position at least. Regardless, thank you for watching. If you like the video, a subscription or a like would really go a long way. I've also got a Discord running, so if you want to come hang out or throw me some questions, or just want to chat, whatever, the description has a link to it down below. Thanks again. Take it easy.